That's right. Welcome in. Oh, man, the golfers are already mad. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks, to a live remote from Florida edition of the Always Irish Show. Bottoms up. When in Rome or in Florida, Miller Lite's Miller Lite. So thanks for being here. Welcome in. Welcome back. We're going to have some fun today, and this is going to be called Fact or Fiction on some Notre Dame narratives I've seen entering spring football. Let's see what you guys think. I say it all the time. Every time I get down here, I breathe in this ocean air. I get a different view of the world and just a different location. It triggers a different part of my brain. So let's have a little fun with this as we get into spring ball. So as always, thanks for being here. Hit subscribe on YouTube. Give it the video a thumbs up. Notifications on. You don't miss nothing. Twitter search bar Always Irish. Rat Always Irishing. Oh, that echoes up here on this balcony patio. Ooh, they're putting out. Betty's got an 8-footer to get a 12 on this hole. Let's see what's going to happen. By the way, I'm sorry about the timing on this. Going to Florida during spring ball starting and all that. It'd be a good time to have the call-in shows and all that. I got a kid, man. I got to go when the kid's off school for spring break. Like, it is what it is. So this is the best we're going to be able to do. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish, Rat, Always Irishing. Emails, alwaysirishandy@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it. You can get it. Don't want to see my face. Nobody blames you for that. Call in line. We'll get to that when I get back. When I have all my technology, my other screen, and my mixer and all that stuff. Too much to fly with. Don't forget, patreon.com/Always Irish. Former captain, leading tackler Mike Goolsby and myself. Friday, we're going to be making moves in South Bend for Blue and Gold weekend. Saturday morning tailgate. After the game, go over to the linebacker because your former linebacker and I are going to do a live post-game show from there. It's going to be great. We got a hell of a weekend plan. You're all invited. You're all invited. Any Notre Dame fan that wants to be there is more than welcome. Totally open to everybody. All right, let's get into this. Fact or fiction, here's 5 things. See if you agree or disagree. Number 1, Gillis is the favorite at quarterback. This is fact and fiction. I'm already with the nuance. It's fact and fiction. If you want to tell me Gillis is the leader entering spring, that's a fact because he has a little experience, and that's more experience than everybody else he's trying to beat out. So if you want to tell me entering spring, Gillis the leader, and then use the been around Notre Dame longer experience angle, if you want to use that for spring, it's a fact. But overall, no. And the reason I'm saying that is I love Steve Angeli and his loyalty to the program. I don't think he's as naturally physically gifted at a ceiling that some of the younger guys are. I don't think physically there's a real high ceiling with Angeli compared to the other guys. And then you're getting in a risk reward thing of how willing is Freeman and company to go with the younger guy and risk the inexperience leading to dumb turnovers or whatever. And then you have 3 losses halfway through next year and everybody's mad. And then, like, how willing are you to risk rookie mistakes if you don't default to Angeli because he makes solid choices because he's more experienced or whatever? I'm still going to say this, though. For as much as we all love, like, what Angeli does, every time he's in, even if it's in mop-up duty, he has a tough time reading pressure from his backside, and it is a strip sack or almost a strip sack at least once every time he's in, and he's not in that often. He does not read backside pressure well, and every single time he's in there, you're going, oh no, and he's getting crumpled from behind, so to speak, and you're afraid something bad's going to happen. So entering spring, you got to probably say he's the favorite because he comes in with some level of experience. But overall, I'm saying no. And if it is looking like it's obvious it's Angeli all the way, number one, 80% of the number one reps because of the experience, whatever. Fine, but you're risking taken for granted the younger guys you have in the program. They could just go transfer somewhere. I've heard Carr and Minshew love Notre Dame. They don't feel like they're getting a shot at all. Who could blame them if you go in the portal right after Blue and Gold Week? You got to think of that too. So if you want to say Angeli's the favorite and the number one entering spring, sure. But I am not saying at all that has any carryover at all. I just think that's a starting point to spring because it makes sense because he has more experience. But if there's not built-in opportunities for the younger guys to overtake him, it's a mistake. It's a mistake. That's how I see it. So that's fact and fiction. I buy it for the spring, but I don't overall. There needs to be opportunity for real competition and a guy to overtake him. Number two, I've seen this a lot. I've had this emailed to me a lot. It's ended up in the super chats a lot. The Notre Dame defense, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter who the DC is, Al Golden, Ash, whatever. We have enough talent. I'm not worried about the defense falling off at all. I have heard this talked about at all. I'm saying it's fiction. It can't be that easy. It can't be that easy to just say, I believe we have good players and the coach positioning them and calling the plays and deciding when to blitz or not or send pressure, what we're going to do and what. I think it's too simplistic to just say, I believe in the talent and no matter who the coach is, it's going to be just fine no matter what. I believe that's too simplistic and a little bit insulting to defensive coordinators. They're going to have a different feel, a different willingness for risk taking. Like it's just, there are going to be some different things. And so I think it's short-sighted to just say, I believe it's going to be fine. The Notre Dame defense is just going to do what it does. It'll be fine. Program a guy in there. If that ends up being what happens, great. I love it. But to be like, there's not even a concern in your mind at all with the new DC of any slide back at all, or what if this doesn't all gel right with the new, if there's new terminology or the new stuff. I think that's short-sighted and something Notre Dame fans will tell themselves to feel better because you're so used to being able to rely on the defense. You don't want to even entertain the idea you may not be able to. So I just think it's a fiction that no matter who you plug in, it's just going to be fine. You're replacing some key parts on the front end and the back end of that defense, and you're going to have to put it together the right way. So that's fiction. Number three. Oh, boy. Here we go. This is the year the Notre Dame wide receivers are going to show out and ball out and be a plus unit in all this. This is fiction until it's proven against Miami. I don't care what clips you see from spring ball. One-handed Moss circus catch. I don't care if they're saying everybody runs a 4.140. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what article there is. I'm not listening or believing to anything about any of this part of this till I see you get behind Miami a few times. Then I'll be more apt to believe this. But as far as spring, no, we just been burned too many times by hearing, oh, here's this number one alpha guy. Oh, Tobias is going to be the number one guy or whatever. We've been burned so many times, I'm not doing it. Believe it when I see it with the wide receiver room. Now, am I encouraged that you could be trending in the right direction there? Yeah, I am. Malachi Fields, and you got Faison. You got the Faison. I'm already down. I'm in Florida one day. Listen to me. You got the Faison. You get Faison. You love what he could do. Great house. The most consistent wide receiver play we've seen in his Notre Dame career came in the playoff, which is a great time to emerge. Can Cam Williams get in the mix now? What about Gilbert and KK? Whatever. Let's see what we got. Believe it only when I see it, when it matters, because we've been burned and misled regarding this group so many springs. I'm not doing it. Believe it when I see it. That's as fair as it could be. Number 4. Some young players will emerge in spring ball that can make a big difference on the actual playing field in the regular season. I believe this is a fact. And the reason I'm saying that is you have so many guys out and limited that are just going to be out of the mix from the 2 deep all spring. It's going to give those younger guys and backup guys a lot of snaps. A lot of snaps. And if you're one of those guys and you're hungry for a role in the 2 deep, this is a great opportunity. When you look at that list of 20-something guys, limited or out or whatever it's going to be, you have a great chance on both sides of the ball to flash and show something in meaningful moments because you're going to get more snaps with all those guys out. That's a fact. If you could find one or maybe 2 guys on each side of the ball that you were like not thinking of, and then they blow up on the radar and can help you, that's a big deal. So those guys got to be real excited about spring because they have a real opportunity to flash that I wasn't sure they were going to have before. Number 5, Notre Dame recruiting is just screwed and in a bad spot. I think it's too soon to tell. I saw they hired a director of player personnel, whatever. You guys, I'm trying to be patient to the idea that it's just going to take a while for them to put this all together. And you didn't have a GM, and Chad left and he's trying to dunk on you from California, all this other stuff. You're still just now, I got on Twitter and they're hiring a player personnel director, whatever. They just haven't had the operation in place to crank recruiting the way we want. You got pot of gold and all that stuff going out, but there's no way you could tell me this thing was operating at peak efficiency or near it when you didn't even have guys in these jobs. There's just no way. So I think it's too soon to like panic over this dynamic, but people want action. People want some more action. Here's the tough part, though. This is real tough. What is the action people want? And by that, here's what I mean. When you're like, I want action, and we don't have enough commits or whatever it's going to be. Here's the problem with that. You want action, meaning we want to land these high-end commits. The problem for Freeman, since he's been at Notre Dame, is landing the high-end commits early in a cycle, and then they don't stick in Notre Dame. So you're stuck in a weird spot as a fan because you want more action. And to me, the most action isn't maybe some kid will visit sometime. It's commits. But we've been losing the top commits. So is that what you want? Goolsby was talking about maybe we need to delay the soft verbal commitment thing and push it down the line so they don't commit to Notre Dame and then leverage you for a better deal or whatever. Well, if that's what's going on, you're not going to have a robust class early in a cycle or have that many high committed guys. So, but you wouldn't know if that's the plan till the end and you land those guys. So right now you're in the middle because we all want those top commits, and those are the ones who didn't stick around in every Freeman class so far. So I don't know what to tell you. So as you'll see, and this was intentional, a lot of these items just don't have a crystal clear fact or fiction. And I want it to be tidy and clean and to have these ironclad positions or whatever. It just doesn't lend itself to that because of nuance. Mike always gives me a hard time. Johnny Nuance, here we go again. This Notre Dame life is complicated, man. There is a lot of nuance to it. So I want to know what you guys think about all this stuff. Let me know. Have a cold one and let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to check out the merchandise. The link is in the description. You can browse and carouse all the different Always Irish gear. Make sure you head over there and get something for the next tailgate. Thanks for being here.